Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mad Monk, 56, I do believe. Let's have a quick look. Mad Monk 57, Brexit. Dominic Cummings explains all politics is theatre. Really, 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 really. The date today is the 17th of December 2024. It is 1:07 p.m. It's the second attempt. I'd edit in what I say with the original 27-minute video where I say everything is working perfectly, and guess what happened? It's all working absolutely perfectly. Stopped some things getting online, and now my computer works perfectly. Thanks, but I'm still getting an Apple eventually. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Dominic. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first 27-minute attempt. I've altered nothing, checked everything, and now, is it working perfectly? I've just checked it 3 times. It's suddenly working perfectly. Zoom calls. Every time I do a Zoom call, this starts. That's you, Zoom. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Let's get to Dominic Cummings. Let's listen to what he has to say about all politics is theatre. This guy, if you didn't know who it is, was one of the, like a Steve Bannon, uh, who organised the Brexit campaign.
So if you think of 2 roles, right? The Foreign Secretary in Great Britain and the private secretary in the PM's office responsible for foreign affairs, an official whose name has never been in the newspapers. That person was like 10 times more powerful and important than the Secretary of State was. And I think this is something which people just don't really realize. And it's part of like how the whole system has become fake. So you have fake meritocracy, fake responsibility, and then fake cabinet government. So they all walk up Downing Street, the cameras whir, they pose, they smile, ha ha, I'm going into the most powerful meeting, aren't I great? But it's all nonsense. The cabinet is just a kind of stage theatre. And actually officials in the cabinet office have already decided it all. When you sit in Whitehall now, right, in meetings, they are literally scripted. So when the Prime Minister has a meeting with ministers, what happens is that before the Prime Minister has that meeting, officials go into the Prime Minister's study and they give him a folder. And in the folder at the front is a thing called Chairman's Notes. And that's the script. And that's what the Prime Minister reads out. And the conclusions for the meeting are in the Chairman's Notes, drafted before the meeting happens, right? So the Prime Minister says, hello, Secretary of State, blah, blah, blah. And then all these officials sit around the sides on chairs around the edge of the room. And then the MP, the Secretaries of State, all look down at their folders because they've all got their scripts, right? And this is why I use the NPC meme, right? Because then the Prime Minister reads out, well, we're here to discuss blah, blah, blah. And then he goes around the room, and then Secretary of State for Justice or the Foreign Secretary reads out his bullet points, and then he reads out their bullet points, and they read out. If anyone goes on script, you see the officials sort of go, and then look over at the other official on the side of the room and kind of go, that means we'll come back to that after the meeting and make sure that that doesn't happen. And then at the end, it was a fascinating, great discussion. Thank you so much for your wonderful, insightful, original contributions. And then he reads out the conclusions which are all drafted in advance. And it sounds like a parody, but it is literally how the British state functions. And the MPs are happy with that, right? Well, how does the psychology of it work? The officials are happy because they have almost all the real power. The cabinet secretary is now 100 times more powerful than any cabinet minister apart from the PM. And the MPs are happy because this whole system pretends that they're in charge. So both sides are basically happy with the fake version of the government.
Well, that's very interesting, Dominic, but you forgot a few things. Corporate structures, think tanks, foundations, Cecil Rhodes, Club of Rome, Davos, Bilderberger. Look how much is missing from the rhetoric. Bannon gives great rhetoric. And I'm just wondering whether the Trump administration is ever going to match that rhetoric with public policy, because what I'm seeing is getting pretty scary. But we'll see. So far, pus level, super high, happiness level, high, but pus level too high. We've got to see the pus, flea-bitten rat, parasitic rat level coming down from all the pieces of garbage that surround. I mean, the level of garbage that surround Trump's far surpasses whatever was around Biden now. It's just flea-bitten trash. And we've got to see the flea-bitten trash level come. That's got to be Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon. Elon Musk has got to go. End of story. That's just gaslighting the public. And we see the pus-ridden level coming down and the happiness level going up. The next 12 months are pivotal. It's history. The next 12 months are pivotal. We'll know. The good thing is we'll know 100% exactly how this is going to transpire. It doesn't have to be perfect, but this pus-ridden filth have to go. Just has to go. But very interesting, Dominic Cummings. But the shortfall is, when are we going to get the full story? The closest is Bannon. He's shut up now. They arrest him. He comes out. He always does some great stuff, some dog whistles, and then kind of disappears. He's had Trump on. Let's wait and see. I'm cautiously, and I mean, I don't even want to say cautiously optimistic. I have this feeling of slight hope and dread. I have a feeling of dread. It's actually a feeling of dread. I don't know. Make sure you have a good Christmas, no matter your religion, faith, or non-religion. Man, my memories of Christmas are such fun. No, I'd ban it because I'm tired of they all hate Christians, they all hate religion, but by God, we want Christmas because we want the Christmas sales. But if it wasn't for the fact that I'd be a Grinch because I loved Christmas when I was a kid, it was a very exciting time. I don't want to take that from anyone, but you know, sometimes the commercialization is just disgusting. I just hate it. But anyway, and I notice here in Mexico, everyone's got out their nativity scenes. There's nativity scenes everywhere. Where are all the nativity scenes in the West? They took them all out of Perth, Western Australia, and they put an angel, a caricature of an angel with a 666 in the middle in Perth, Western Australia. So we know who owns Perth, Western Australia now, don't we? Look good, don't we? Good old, anyway, Kerry Stokes and co. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I hope this one works better than the last one. And I want to try and do a couple of these a day. I'm just getting into the swing. I'm just learning how to transcribe with DaVinci Resolve so I can then keyword search. Kay Griggs, thank you to, we'll call her Rose, for doing the transcribing. Unfortunately, that was a very bad time to do with Mike Gill and all the rest, and I just lost all interest in doing anything with Kay Griggs, but I really needed the transcription done by the automatic software so I can then keyword search and find each part, and I have to learn how to do that. So I'll get back to that, but I want to do a couple of Mad Monks a day, just each individual issue and just go into it. But maybe, hey, well, no, I'm not going to bother. We'll talk about aliens and UFOs later and silly sightings of drones in the air. Anyway, we'll talk again soon.